Welcome, everyone, to the latest episode of Sisters in Service. You know me, I am the freaking fabulous Kat Corchado. And today, my guest is Joe Hoye. He is the visionary behind HoyFit and the pioneering host of the Midlife Makeover Summit. Joe is a youthful age 30, but he's also carved this niche in the health coaching and weight loss industry, dedicating his expertise to empower women and moms grappling with menopause. His mission, to help them break free from the cycle of dieting, reclaim their confidence, and master control over their bodies within a lifestyle filled with joy and satisfaction. So, joy. Oh my gosh, Joe, welcome to Sisters in Service.
Thanks, Kat. Appreciate that. And it's so funny. It's that is definitely not the first time I've heard that. Definitely not the last either. Something about Joe Hoye just brings people straight to joy.
Right?
More times than you would think. So thanks for
So
having
it's
me.
not just me.
Oh no,
okay.
It's not just you.
I didn't mean to call you Joy. I was just like, I heard Joe. I almost did it again. And I Hoye and then Joy. You've got to do something with that on social media. I'm just going to put it out there.
I can't.
That could be really, that could be really good. All right, Joe. So I know you focus on helping women, specifically moms in or past menopause. So how do you, and when I think about women in that age group, we've been around the block a few times. It's not our first rodeo. And so women kind of have at that age this kind of block. Okay, now I'm old. I'm supposed to act a certain way. I'm supposed to move a certain way. You know, my joints hurt because I'm older. How do you break through that block for them?
You just got to show them what's possible, right? I mean, gosh, at this point with modern medicine and how long people are living, you're going to spend 50 to 60% of your lifetime in menopause. So you'd better figure out.
Depressing. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's so
but
depressing.
this is the exact conversation we can have though. Is it, or is it a great time to reinvent or recreate yourself and actually turn this second half of your life into the best half? Right? Because for our clients, they are consistently taking this and being like, you know what? The kids are out of the house, they're done with college, loans are paid off. I'm stable and secure. And now if I can figure out this health thing, this weight loss thing, this menopause thing, everything is working for me. And so they got 3 more things left to tackle. And when they can accomplish that, my God, they can recreate themselves into something incredible, whatever they want to be.
Mm-hmm. How difficult is it to change someone's mindset? Because sometimes I think they just think I'm in this part of my life now. I'm supposed to look, act, whatever in a certain way because that's what society depicts. And the only reason I say that is because as I've gotten older, I think I'm becoming more of a child again, only because I picked up roller skating at the age of 65. That. And I started coloring. You remember coloring books?
I sure
because
do.
There's this piece that comes with it. So what is it about their mindset? You know, when you talk to them, can you see their mind kind of going, or is it hard to break through that mindset?
I think that all it is because we really just have 2 main mindsets. We have a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. And people are so stuck in their own way, not just women in midlife and beyond, but most people, they're stuck in their own way that they don't see the possibility of change. And so it's very easy for us to explain this and say, yes, you can become anything you want. You can do anything you want. But I'd rather just show people. I'd rather show people that they need to take 1 to 2 very small steps. And as soon as they do that, a door opens for them. And when they walk through that door, they're looking at a whole other bunch of opportunities. And so rather than talk at people and say, hey, I think you should change your mindset, I'd rather just show them what's possible. And if one thing's possible, everything else is too.
Absolutely. I always say that the door is closed, but it's not locked. All you have to do is just open the door and see what's behind there.
I like
and
that.
I think sometimes also if you've ever gotten this pushback when people say, oh, well, you're a trainer, you're supposed to say that. How many times have you gotten that from people?
Yeah, I guess I'm probably like immune to it at this point, but I'm sure I've gotten it. But do you know what a trainer is? A trainer is just a person, right? And it's a person that has understood that there is more. There is more for me. And then because I learned there's more for me and I know that I'm not special, I realize that nobody else is either. And if I'm not special and they're not special and there's more for me, that must mean that there's more for everybody else too. And it's just really frustrating for me, to be honest, that I see people every single day stuck in their own ways in this fixed mindset, not walking through those unlocked doors. And so that's why I'm a coach. That's probably why you do what you do, because you want to show people that there's more.
Absolutely. So my question, yes, this is my question, but it's for the listeners too, because I'm like fascinated. Why midlife women?
Yeah, so that's always the elephant in the room. And I'm surprised it took you this long to ask, right?
Well, I was trying to get you in there, trying to ease you into the question.
Yeah, no, most people just dive straight and they're like, hey, man, what the hell are you doing here? So it really is a 3-part story. And as of about 2 weeks ago, it's a 4-part story. But it goes back to when I was 13 years old. And growing up, my mom was my most strong, most consistent role model in my life. And at the age of 13, she saw that I was going down a bad path, just hanging with bad kids, doing dumb shit, making dumb choices. And at the same time, I was starting to get picked on and bullied in school. So number one, heading down a bad path. Number two, losing confidence and happiness rapidly. And she was already going to the gym. She saw this and she's like, hey, I'm going to the gym. I know your homework's done. Instead of video games tonight, why don't you come with me? And I said, yes. I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm getting picked on. The gym seems like a great place to put an end to that. So I walked in the gym, and on that night, I fell in love with it, and I never stopped going. So from 13 to 18, I consistently went to the gym, trying to put on size, trying to put on muscle, because I was really skinny. I was tall and skinny, and I couldn't. So I just continued to get picked on, all that. Nothing really changed. I graduate high school, I move on to college, and I start pursuing a career in the medical field. So with that, I have to take courses on the human body and how it changes. So anatomy, physiology, nutrition, kinesiology. And from that, I learn how to change my body. All the things I wanted to know at 13, I now know at 19. So I turned myself into my first guinea pig. I'm doing everything right. But at the same time, like I said, I'm a 19-year-old in college. So I start drinking, I start partying. And while I'm gaining muscle by eating more calories and lifting heavy, I'm also gaining a ton of body fat. And so within a year to a year and a half, I go from 5'11", 145 pounds, up to about 225. So I gain 80 pounds. And now I have a new problem, right? I'm still not confident in myself, still not feeling great, but instead of being skinny, now I'm fat. And I was like, well, shit, something's got to give. So I kick the partying, I dial in everything I knew from school, and I get to the body that I'm in now, which is about 195 pounds. Low body fat, high amounts of muscle. And growing up in a small town, people notice. They're like, wow, Joe, we knew you when you were skinny. We knew you when you were fat. And now, who's this guy? Because no, you don't look the same, but you're also not acting the same. Like your confidence is through the roof. You are more athletic. You're just a different person. Can you show me how you did that? And I mean, again, as coaches, we want to show people what's possible for them. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I think I have something here. I'm going to teach people like me, right? Young men either gain muscle or lose fat and feel confident. So I start running these 8-week online challenges to help people with that. I start getting signups left and right, but I never look at the names. And when I open up my Zoom screen on that very first day and I look back at everybody that signed up to be coached by Joe, nobody looked like me, right? They all looked a whole lot more like you, Kat. Like people like you, people like my mom. And I was like, well, what happened? How did I get this crowd in here when I thought I was trying to attract people like me? And it turns out, I think just growing up with my mom and her friends, I learned to communicate in a way that resonated with them. So I naturally drew them in. At the end of that first call, I loved it. Like we had a ton of fun. At the end of that first 8 weeks, they all got results. And so I took a second to think on it. I was like, you know what? Maybe this isn't what I thought I wanted, but it is what I want. And I did have fun. So I'm going to keep doing it. At that time, I get my job in surgery. I'm helping the doctor with surgery, and I'm running these challenges on the side. So once again, me getting pushed in this direction, for my role in surgery, there was myself and 7 other girls that worked at the hospital. And they thought, like my higher ups, they thought it was a great idea to take me, like I said, the one male on the team, and stick him inside the OB and GYN based rooms. And so again, here I am with this population. Didn't choose it. It chose me.
It chose you.
Yeah, but I'm just asking the doctor all these questions. Like while we're operating on the patient, I'm leaning in being like, hey, doc, what could this lady have done proactively in order to not be on this operating room table? And he thought, or she thought, I was asking for the patient, but I was asking for my clients. So I could leave work and start my side hustle, which is now HoyFit or Diet Detox, and help these ladies in a bigger way. And so that's my 3-part story. And I'll tell you part 4 if you want, but 3 parts is like, I want to give back to my mom, because if I want to change somebody's life like mine, if I change a mom's life, it's a whole lot easier. Number 2, I have a lot of fun with you ladies. Like I love talking with you on this podcast.
We're really cool.
3, you're pretty cool. You're pretty cool for the most part. There's some bad apples, but there's bad apples in every crowd.
Yes.
And then number 3, I'm pretty damn good at it.
Mm-hmm. I love that. What a gift your mom gave to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish that that was a gift that a lot of parents could give their kids. And the fact that you were, and did you get to work out with your mom at the gym? Like really work out with her? You guys worked out together, or did you kind of just do your own thing?
No, we never really worked out too much. I think on the first few days, she showed me around, and then typical like teenage boy to mom behavior is like, you know what, mom, you don't know what you're doing. And so she went and got the gym owner, who was like an old bodybuilder, and he showed me the same shit she showed me. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But like, I didn't want to hear it from her.
Spoken like a true child. You know, you hear all this stuff from your mom, and then you're like, no, it's not. Then you hear it from someone else. You're like, oh, guess what? And you're like, I just told you all that.
Yeah.
What an
But thank God, like
amazing
now
story.
I have the maturity.
Yes. Yes. So a lot of times when I get clients or I talk to clients, and you hear this common theme of, I don't have time. I'm tired all the time. So you're asking me to work out and I'm tired. How do you get them over that? I know how I do it, but how do you get them over that hump?
I think that for the women that I work with, at least, they've done so many things that are not sustainable and not realistic and not enjoyable, that sometimes that's like a wall. It's just a wall that they put up of like, hey, look, I don't want to deal with this shit all the time. Give me something new. And so, number 1, I like to tell them that, look, there's no foods that are off limits. There's no foods I'm going to make you eat. There's no exercise plan I'm going to force you to do. You don't need to have anything you don't want in your life. We're going to take your life and mold a program around it rather than mold your life around a program. And just by explaining that, people kind of drop their guard and like, oh, well, this doesn't sound like anything I've done before. And so then they're a little bit interested. And then I'll give them just, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 super really simple tips to apply, and they'll see some wins. And it's just baby steps. I think it's just building trust.
Absolutely. I think trust is huge. I think that when I talk to people, because I do online classes also, but I tell them there's a no perfection policy. And they say, oh, well, you know, and I said, that's for me. So if I don't expect perfection from me, I don't expect perfection from you guys. Just be there. You know, sometimes, you know, you may not be in the mood to work out, and maybe you just do a little bit, but you know what? That's better than not doing anything at all. Saying, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to. Do a little bit and see what happens, because you might be surprised at, you know, moving for 10 minutes, all of a sudden your body and your brain kick in, and all of a sudden you're like, I feel better. Maybe I can do 15 minutes. And so I don't think they put the two together, that your body craves movement. And once you start moving it, it's great for your brain. It turns your brain on, and all of a sudden all pistons go, right? So I think it's really important, what you're saying. And I wanted to kind of delve into the weight loss drug questions. They're all out there. And I know that there are people that need them. Mm-hmm. But I also know that there are people out there who are just taking the drug and not working. I call it working the drug, meaning you're taking the drug, but you're also doing all the things you're supposed to do. Okay. Have you had any clients that have said, hey, I'm really thinking about doing this? And I'm not going to name any, but I think they're the GLP-1 drugs. Yeah. How do you get around that? Or do you? I'm sure you do.
So if somebody's asking me for my advice on if they should do it or not before they've started, I'll paint them a picture of what life looks like with it and what life looks like without it.
Absolutely.
With success or without success. And then I'll ask them to weigh those two and see which one they want more of. And every single time they want the one without GLP-1s. But if somebody's already taken them, right? Like if a client comes to us or a lead comes to us that's like, hey, I think I want to work with you guys, and they're on GLP, it's kind of like Pandora's box. Like we've already opened it. A lot of people know or think, I'm not going to say no, think it's a quick fix. And because of that, they're going to jump on it. And like, as much as we like, and I say we, you, me, other coaches like us would like, we're not getting rid of it. And so I think at this point, what I'm doing is damage control. Be like, hey, I'm going to level with you. If you're here, if you're on it, okay, let's do it the right way. And when I say the right way, I mean, let's make sure the scale goes down like you want it to, but let's make sure that when it goes down, it's not from muscle loss. It's from fat loss. So let's get you in the gym. If you're not comfortable with the gym, let's get you in your living room with some bands or some light weights. Let's get you prioritizing your protein and really just keeping your calories as high as possible while still losing weight. And if we can do that, we'll mitigate the damage and you'll end up pretty damn close to where you actually wanted to be.
I love that. It's, I did a podcast episode about it, but also, telling people if you're already on it or your doctor's prescribed it for you, fine, but you can still do all the other things.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of people out there that are doing it right, but there are also some people out there who think, oh, all I need is this. We want the quick fix, right? And sometimes it's not a quick fix. No. You've got to go through the steps. And if you don't go, you could cut corners, but then you're going to pay for it in the end. Don't you think?
Absolutely. It is a quick something, but I think it's a quick solution to a nightmare. And so rather than us just like say this, because I think you and I have a very clear understanding as to why, but maybe the listeners don't, I'll just explain really quickly why we're against this. Number one, if you take this and you do nothing else, you're not going to learn the habits, the tools, the lifestyle you need to succeed after. And what I mean by succeed is maintain what you've worked for, right? So if you go from 200 to 150, as soon as you stop injecting yourself with this medication, you're going to go straight back up because you have nothing to live off of. But number two, worse than that, you're not just going from 200 pounds to 150 and then back up to 200. And I'm going to say this really harshly because I don't know a better way to put it, and it might make somebody raise their eyebrows, and that's actually what I want. You're going from 200 pounds down to 150, back up to 200 as a worse version of yourself. Yes. And what I mean by worse is we understand that as you're losing weight rapidly, because that's what happens, you're losing both body fat and muscle. The body fat's great. Like you're going to lose visceral fat. You'll get healthier because of that. You're going to look better. But at the same time, you're losing muscle. So you're losing your metabolism. You're losing something that as a woman, 40, 50, or 60, you're already naturally losing. You're just speeding it up. So let's say you get down to 150. You've lost, 35 pounds of fat and 15 pounds of muscle. But now you go back up to 200. Guess what? You didn't gain that 15 pounds of muscle back. You gained 50 pounds
50 pounds of fat.
Right. And so now you're 200 pounds with 15 pounds more fat and 15 pounds less of muscle. So you feel worse, look worse, operate worse.
Metabolism is lower, all the things. Yeah.
And so that's the nightmare I'm talking about. Because now when you do it again, when you got to lose weight again, you have to eat even less. And that sucks. Nobody likes eating a small amount of food.
Exactly. I think it's just really hard sometimes to get that across, especially to women. You know, all they hear is weight loss, but they don't think in terms of fat and muscle. And you have to go through the whole explanation. Also along the lines of people saying, well, I just want to lose my stomach. And I've answered this question about spot reduction so many times, you know, and I know the answer, but can you explain why that's impossible?
Yeah, we just can't. And I know, like, I know for you and I, like, it gets frustrating because we're saying it all the time, but it's what we signed up for, right? We signed up for that constant education to teach thousands of different people the same thing over and over and remind them, like, hey, look, you can't. Because let me explain why in a very simple way. I'm sure that when you gained weight, you didn't choose to gain it in your stomach, right? I'm like, well, no, of course not. It's like, great. Well, you can't choose to lose it there either, right? Your body decides where it's going to store fat and where it's going to lose fat. And so the rule of thumb is generally the first place you gain it is the last place you lose it. So if you gained your midsection quicker than most things, it's going to be the last thing you lose. And again, talking about mindset, going back to the beginning, that can really crush somebody. Yes. But at the same time, if we switch our mindset, that can really light somebody up because that means when you lose your midsection, you got nothing else to lose. Your arms look good, your face looks good, your butt looks good, your back looks good, everything looks good. Now your midsection is gone and you're done.
I think what's also important is my business coach always says that you want to slow down to speed up. And I think that's something that actually applies to fitness. You want to pull way back and say, okay, this is what I need to do right now. And then you start they're like stair steps. You know, you take a step, then you take another step, and you get better and better and better. And I think when you go slowly, and I know we don't like to hear that word slow because we're like, I need to lose 20 pounds in 20 days. And
yeah.
Like, I love you for saying that, but I wish it were true. Or here's the other question.
In 2 weeks, I got to be thin.
Exactly. The other question is, how long will it take me to lose 40 pounds? If I could answer that question, I'd be rich by now. But there's no way to determine because all of us, our metabolism, we're such different people. I mean, you even take twins. You've seen those studies done on twins where they put them on two different diets and one twin loses all the weight and the other twin gains weight. So that should show people that even twins are different in their metabolism and everything. So I think that's really an important thing to remember. And it's hard. It's hard to say, I just want to lose, fat here. I wish I could tell you that was possible, but I cannot. I wish I could. I just can't.
Yeah, it's the hardest question to answer, right? So, and I think it's one of the most prevalent ones I hear too, Kat, is I'll explain them my program. So it's like, hey, first we're going to build your foundation so that everything happens better, faster, and easier. Once we've done that, I'm going to reshape your body. We're going to gain more muscle. We're going to lose more fat. And after that, I'm going to teach you to thrive. So you can do it on your own forever. And the only thing they're like, okay, that sounds amazing. But how long is each phase going to take? And it's like, wish I could tell you. I can't, because even if you have the same goal as one of our clients, you do not have the same body. You don't have the same history. You don't have the same anything.
But as women, we're so used to comparing ourselves to each other. Yeah. I think if we just had blinders on like this and we just, as my sports coaches and stuff, just stay in your lane and do you. And I think that's hard sometimes. And people don't see the hard work that other women are putting in. And I always encourage women, when I used to work in a gym and I would see women in there just every day pounding, and they might be overweight, but they're in there working. And I would walk up to them and say, you're doing great. Keep up the good work. And there's no better, no offense to men, but there's no better, thing to say to someone, woman to woman, than you look awesome. keep doing what you're doing. And
Yeah.
I think that if we support each other like that, that it would really, I don't know, I think it would do something to does something to your confidence. You're just like, yeah, especially when people say, I'm just not motivated to work out.
Yeah.
Well, motivation isn't something that taps you on the shoulder. Motivation comes from, hey, I went to the gym 3 days this week. I wanted to go 3 days. I went 3 days. That's motivation. Now I did it for 2 weeks. I did it for 3 weeks. I did it for a month. Now I'm not only gone for a whole month, but now I've lost 5 pounds. It kind of accumulates. So it's this huge rolling boulder where all of a sudden someone walks up to you and says, wow, you look great. How did you do it? That's where the motivation comes from.
Absolutely. It's almost like my least favorite word too, motivation, because we'll talk to so many people. It's like, hey, I know you had these goals you wanted to set. I'm just checking in. Like, well, you know what? I do want them, but I'm just not that motivated right now. It's like, hey, guess what? I ain't that motivated. And I bet Kat wakes up some days and she's not motivated either.
Oh,
But
no.
you know what we both do is we make a decision, we take action, and action's the thing that gets results. Motivation isn't.
Absolutely. I think one of the things I like to ask my clients, Pilates and personal training, is I'll walk through the door and I'm like, hey, I say, hey, Joe, how you doing? Like, I'm fine. And I'm like, how's your body? Like, oh, my body's fine. I'm like, great, Joe. On a scale of 1 to 10, how's your energy level? And they go, oh, I didn't sleep very well. And in this and this and this. And I'm like, okay, like a 4 or 5. They're like, yeah. And so I tailor my workouts according to their energy level.
Oh, I like that.
And so I don't overwork them. They're happy. They walk out feeling better. I'm happy because they got to work out in line with their energy level and they come back. There's nothing worse than having not slept and your trainer goes, all right, we're working legs today. You're like, no.
Right. 100 burpees. Go get after it.
No. So, oh my gosh. So, Joe, what kind of questions do you get from women? Like, do you get in like mostly questions that we've talked about, or do you get any kind of unique questions from women?
Yeah. So our approach is very different from mainstream weight loss, right? And when I say mainstream weight loss, I'm hoping that a lot of people's minds go to, well, GLPs like Ozempic, trendy diets, starvation diets, cleanses and detoxes that are really just keeping your calories low. And we're quite the opposite, right? I mean, we recently renamed the business to Diet Detox. And the reason that is because my goal, like my mission right now, is to detoxify everybody's body from the damage that diets are doing, right? That muscle loss, that weight rebound to the worst version of yourself that we explained before. My mission is to stop that. And so the questions that I get, because people will spend some time with me before like actually reaching out, they'll just observe silently. They'll be like, Joe, I see you post this all the time. And like, I see actual people in your photos, like losing weight, getting thinner, gaining muscle. They'll send you text messages and you'll share that. It's like, but I just don't get it. How are they eating more and they're reshaping their body?
Yeah.
Right. And so I think that's the most common thing I'll get.
Absolutely. I also think that, people talk about, oh, this diet, that diet, and it's still out there. And they go, oh, diets don't work. I go, oh, they do. Diets work, but they work for the 3 people over there. That diet works for the 5 people over there, the 10 people over here. Why do you think there's so many diet books on the market? Because they're working for a very small percentage of people.
Yep.
But the thing is that while you're on the diet, it's great. At least I hope so. Because if you're doing it and it's not great, then something's wrong.
Right.
But then you go off the diet. And if you learn something from it, then that's different. Maybe you found some foods that you didn't think you liked and you do. But I think eating what we call whole foods, getting your nutrition there. And it's not about deprivation. It's because if I had a trainer and he or she said, you cannot have ice cream anymore, I'm like, okay, I'm done, So as a trainer, yes, I eat the cookies. Yes, I have the ice cream. Yes, I have that stuff. I just don't have it every day or every week. It's one of
Right.
those treats where you sit down, like, and you sit there with a bowl of ice cream, like, oh my God, I have ice cream. Okay,
You want
that's
to
how I
know?
eat it.
Yeah, you want to know what's interesting? Because I was going to completely agree with you on the diet thing, right? There's a
Mhm,
million diets out there because
mhm.
every diet's going to work for somebody, right?
Yes.
There's no right diet. The right diet is the
Mhm,
one that works for you and that you enjoy, that you can do for life. And the same thing, this makes me smile. The same
mhm,
thing's true for treats like ice cream, right? Like
mhm,
you're the person, you just explained, you're like, I ain't going to have it every
mhm.
day. When I do, I'm going to have a bowl of it. I'm going to sit down. I'm really going to enjoy it. And me,
Yes.
I'm so opposite. Like I just came
Mhm,
home with ice cream last night, and my MO is at night, I'll just open that thing up, grab a spoon, and have 2 bites. It's like, oh,
mhm.
that was great. Okay, I'm good to go. And I put it back. And so I'm like the frequent snacker, and you're the intermittent snacker. And it's funny that there's two options.
But it works for me. That's what you
Yeah.
have to find. It actually works. So no, you don't have to, I mean, eating your fruits and your vegetables and all of that, and having your protein up. That's all important. But enjoying life, that's part of enjoying life
Yes.
is those snacks, those treats. So Joe, let's talk a little bit about where do you see your business in 5 years? And where do you think that fitness is going? Where do you see fitness in 5 years? Do you think that we're kind of stagnated where we are where we are? Or do you think it's going to get elevated?
I think it's in 5 years, I think it's going to elevate massively. Um, I think that there is a huge movement that's just getting the momentum going, right? So we're not really hearing about it right now. Like I do, you probably do
Mhm.
because we're in this space, but I think that general population doesn't. But there's a huge movement of people very similar to you, very similar to me, that are saying, wait, hold up. The things we've been taught for the past 30 years are bullshit, right?
Mhm.
Like you guys are losing more muscle than you are fat and you're just shooting yourself in the foot. I'm going to do something about it. And I think
Mhm.
that in 5 years as a whole, the industry is going to be so good because we're going to have that
Mhm.
momentum and we're going to have that voice and we're going to
Mhm.
inspire the younger generation to do it. And so maybe when I'm your age or a generation below me is your age, we don't have those problems. I'm sure there's something else that I'm missing right now that
Mhm.
somebody will teach me and then we'll fix that. But I think we're going to be steps ahead. And gosh, in 5 years, I mean, I've been around for 7 years. I think in 5 years, diet detox, like my business is a pretty big leader
Mhm.
because my mission right now is to truly just end the starvation diets.
Mhm. One question I have for you is in the South, obesity is rampant and it runs
Yeah.
in families.
Hush puppies.
How, all right, I like hush puppies. Hush
Me
puppies are
too.
good.
That's the
Don't pick on hush
problem. I
puppies.
ain't. So I go down to my place in North Carolina and I'll look for a restaurant because it has hush puppies. Like that's the
Yes,
problem. They're
it
so good.
is. It is. But I think for me, the mission is, you know, when you take someone who is overweight, they have
Mhm.
all of these medical problems because they're overweight. And they decide, they make that decision. They've never worked out before. They said, I'm going to work out, I'm going to get a trainer.
Mhm.
And the trainer says, okay, we're going to work out for an hour a day. And that's, I would feel intimidated. If I go from never working out to working out for an hour, that's like, whoa, wait. So I've implemented an 11-minute workout.
Nice.
Everybody can do 11 minutes.
Yes.
And I think it's just, so I want to get everyone just walking for 11 minutes, chair dancing while you're at your desk,
Yep.
getting some kind of movement, I think is just so important. Whether you have your favorite dance list and you're dancing, you're playing with your dog or whatever, that all counts. And so when you find things that you enjoy, because when I'm roller skating, you can best believe I'm not thinking about how many calories I'm burning.
No.
I'm having so much fun just doing
Yep.
it. And the exhilaration after I take my skates off, and I'm like, oh my God, that was so much fun. Did I burn calories? Maybe, but that's not why I did it. And I
Yeah.
want everyone to try to just start, 10 or 11 minutes of just getting out in nature, just walking a little bit, being outside, noticing, I always do what do I hear? What do I see? What do I feel? What's the other one? Sight, sound. Well, I can't
Yeah.
taste anything, but because it really calms me, and I get a chance to really go out in nature. Joe, this has been such an interesting conversation. What's up next for you and your business?
So right now we're like full transition into diet detox from HoyFit. So everything, like I've hit on a couple times, is anti-diet, showing you ladies you can eat more food and reshape your body and your life through doing that. But I mean, before I jumped on this podcast, I was in the middle of overhauling a challenge I run. I'm not generally a big fan of challenges because that's generally grouped into like the quick fix solution. The way I want to run it is to just give people momentum, hope, and prove that their body's not broken, that they can succeed. After that, I'll show them the long-term ways. But gosh, aside from that, I think my biggest focus is trying to be seen and heard by more people, because of the people that listen to me, I've seen how I impact their life. I've done this for 7 years. I've seen people that started with me on day one. I look at their life now and it's crazy. And then I see people that start today and I can envision them a year to 7 years from now. And I just future cast what's possible. And so if I can reach more people, that is my focus.
And you want people to feel good. That's kind of my mission is, I believe that everyone has the right to feel good in their body.
Everyone.
You have that right, but you also have to put a little bit in to get some out. You know what I mean? You have to put in a little bit of effort to get some, to see those results. It doesn't just come naturally. It doesn't just, oh, I wish, and then it happens. And that's really sad.
I mean, yeah,
Go ahead,
if
Joe.
you don't do the work,
the
work's not going to work on you.
Exactly. Joe, where can people find you if they want to get in on one of your, your just to be around your youth? You just make me feel like 20 years younger, man.
I love it. I'm doing something right. So number one, if anybody wants to spend some time with me or with the diet detox coaches, I'd love to give away 3 months of coaching. There's no me pulling a fast one in there. What I'm going to do is I'll send you a form. We can put it in the show notes, Kat, and I'm going to need a name, a phone number, and an email. After that, that's how I contact you if you're the winner. So don't fudge that or else you're not going to win. But after that, there's going to be a box that asks you why you're the winner. And that is for you to sell me. I want you to give me a really compelling reason as to why you should be the winner of our 3 months of free coaching. And if we choose you, it's going to be based on that. We'll contact you and we'll make as much progress as we can in 3 months. We're not going to change your life in 3 months because change takes time, but we're going to get you a whole lot of momentum and get you some really fast wins, which will be great. For anyone else, you can come and find me at Joe Diet Detox. You can find me at Joe Hoye on Facebook. That's it. I'm a very searchable guy.
Thank you for that, Joe. You just reminded me of something, and it's, the one thing that when I have a one-on-one with someone, or we're just kind of having a consult or just having a conversation, and they will say, oh, I want to lose weight, or I want to feel better. And I'm like, okay, what is your why? And they're like, well, I just told you. I go, no, your why should be so compelling that every time you feel like you want to quit and you read that why, it puts you right back on track.
Yep.
And so I always try to tell people, envision your body. If you stay on this track you're on now, envision your body in 10 years. What are you doing? Can you get on the floor? Can you get up off the floor? Can you play with your grandkids, or do you have to sit in a chair and watch them? Nothing wrong with that. But what if you want to get up and you can't?
Right.
And so this isn't about, my days of wearing a bathing suit and looking good in it are over for the most part, but I want to feel good. And I always say to myself, every year that I get older, I just turned 67 this year, that I want to be better at 68 than I was at 67.
Yes,
and it might just be this little, it might be a tweak. It might be just, I added a food to some, to my diet, or I took something away, or I started, it could be just something small, but it's big to me. So Joy, see, I did it.
You did it. You started and finished with a joy. I love it.
Joe Hoye, thank you for the chance to get to talk to you. And you have been delightful. And for anyone listening, it's easy to listen to one person. You hear me say these things all the time, but sometimes when you hear it from someone else, you kind of perk up and go, oh, I've heard that before. Now, it may not have been from me, but it may have. But I want you to understand that we are all, as trainers, for the most part, Joe and I are passionate about what we do. And I hope you heard that, the passion that comes through. This isn't about how much money I can make, how many clients I can get. It might have started out that way, I'm saying. But now there's a passion behind it. And we just want everyone to feel good and being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it. So my sisters in service, you know what I'm going to say? Please stay safe. Take care of each other until next time. And remember that it's never too late to start your impossible.